Hello, children. Welcome back in your literature class. Yesterday we have finished till the velveteen rabbit, became a part of the boy's life, and he could not even sleep of it. And so Nana was getting irritated that when it is so special for you, so important for you, then why don't you take care of it? Okay, so that was a wonderful summer near the house Near the house where they lived, there was a wood. Here, wood means a small forest type area. And in the long June evening, the boy liked to go to there after tea to play. In the evening time, as I have already told you, that in the evening time we need to have a cup of milk or a glass of milk or a cup of tea. Then the boy has the habit to go out to play along with the rabbit. Now, I took the velveteen rabbit head with him, and before he wandered off, he picked up flowers or play at the brigands among the trees. He always made the rabbit a little nest somewhere among the bracken, a tall area where big plants are there, and there he used to keep the rabbit for keeping it safe. So, where he would quite cozy, for he was a kind-hearted little boy and he liked Bunny to be comfortable over there because he was calculating the rabbit to be a real rabbit. So he tried to keep the rabbit in such a place where normally used to be a real rabbit needs to live. Mm. One evening, while the rabbit was lying there alone, watching the ants and ran to and fro between his velveteen paws in the grass, he saw two strange beings creep out of the tall bracken near him. So where he was kept. So one day in the evening, he found that ants are moving in between his paws. I mean, paws means hands, paws, and they were moving over here and there, to and fro, coming and going, coming and going. This is the to and fro movement. You must have read in the science the pendulum movement. So he found two beings, two animals. They small. They came close to him. They were rabbits like him, but quite furry and brand new. He found his reflection, rather, you can see that his reflection, the difference was he was non-living and they were living. So, and they were very new. They were looking very new and fresh. New in the sense fresh. They must have been very well made, for their seams did not show at all, and they changed shape in the queer in a strange way. When they moved, one minute they were long and thin, and next minute fat and bouncy, instead of always taking the same like he did. Their feet padded softly on the ground, and they crept quite close to him, twitching their noses, while the rabbit stared hard to see which side the clockwork struck out, for he knew that people who jump generally have something to wind up them, but he could not see it. They were evidently a new kind of rabbit altogether. So they were completely new for him. Why? Because he was non-living and they were living, and they were trying to follow his movements, Velveteen Rabbit's movement, but unfortunately he could not move because he was non-living, and he was also following how they are becoming changing moments. I mean, how they are becoming fat, then they are becoming thin, they are swelling up, then they are getting furious like, to show the anger or the furious face to the velveteen rabbit so that he can move. They were trying to make him move so that they can follow his actions and repercussions or reactions, you can say. Acha. They stared at him, they continuously looking at a specific thing without a specific movement. Your eyelids and eye people will not even move from one place to another. That is staring. And the little rabbit stared back, and all the time their noses twinged. They were trying to smell what is actually going on over there and what he was. Why don't you get up and play with us? One of them asked. I don't feel like it, said the rabbit, for he did not want to explain that he had no clockwork. They asked him, "Come on, get up and come and play with us. Why are you sitting like that?" He said, "No, I don't feel to play." "Oh," said the furry rabbit, it's as easy as anything." And he gave a big hop sideways and stood it on his hind legs. Hop, push. He gave a push and stood on his hind legs. "I don't believe you can," he said. "I believe you cannot move." "I can," said the little rabbit. "I can jump higher than anything." He meant when the boy threw him, but of course he did not want to say so. What did he meant? Actually, he was non-living, but he wanted to prove that I'm same as you all. But what do you think that he meant by yes, I can jump? Now, when I'm depending upon someone, then when that specific person is going to throw me up, like swing in the air, that means what? I'm jumping because I cannot jump by myself. So that the Velveteen Rabbit wanted to mean. Yes, I can jump much higher than what you can do. How? When the boy will swing me up high up in the air, I'm bouncing much more higher than what you can bounce. Okay, but he did not meant that. He only said, "Yes, I can jump." Can you hop on your hind legs? Can you bounce like us, jumping from one place to another? The normal movement of a rabbit? That was a dreadful question, for the Velveteen Rabbit had no hind legs at all. Hind legs means what? Backside legs are small and frontside legs are big. The back of him was made all in one piece, like a pincushion. He sat still in the bracken and hoped that the other rabbits would not notice. "I don't want to," he said again. "I don't want to hop like you." Because he did not want to clear out that I do not have any hind legs like you all. Because I'm different. I'm not same as you. Though I'm looking like you, but I'm actually not so. I'm looking like you all, but actually I'm different than you all. You are life, I'm non-living. But the wild rabbits have very sharp eyes, and this one stretched out his neck and looked. "He has not got any hind legs. Fancy a rabbit without any hind legs." "I have," cried the little rabbit. "I have got hind legs. I'm sitting on them." Now, he could see that his actual presence or his originality is coming out. So he shouted, "No, I'm having that. I'm having the hind legs with me. I'm sitting on them. How can you see that?" "Then stretch them out and show me, like this." And they stretched out their hind legs. And he began to whirl round and dance till the little rabbit got quite dizzy. And he kept on dancing on that because they're used to. That is their original, actual lifestyle, actual pattern. "I don't like dancing. I would rather sit still." But all the while he was longing to dance. He was pretending that how he is happy with that. But actually he is not so. He really wanted to be a part of them. He really wanted to be like them. Rather, he really wanted to hop like them, jump like them, dance like them. But he could do nothing because he was a velveteen rabbit, not a real one. But he did not want to open up the original case of his in front of the actual rabbits. Okay. The strange rabbit stopped dancing and came quite close. He came so close that this time his long whiskers brushed on Velveteen Rabbit's ears, and then he wrinkled his nose suddenly and flattened his ears and jumped backward. "He does not smell right. He is not a rabbit at all. He is not real." He went close to it. He smelled it, and you know pretty well that the animals have a specific, very sensitive capacity of smelling. They can sense anything by their smell. This is their special characteristics. And so he found out that Velveteen Rabbit is not real. He's just a fancy. He's just a non living thing. He's just a toy. "I'm real," I'm real. The boy said so. And he nearly began to cry. But he kept on shouting, "No, I'm real, I'm real." The boy said, "I'm real." Just then there was a sound of footsteps, and the boy ran past near him, and with a stamp of feet and a flash of white tails, the two strange rabbits disappeared. And suddenly, when there was a footstep of the boy, he was coming close to the velveteen rabbit, probably to take him back. Those two original rabbits, they disappeared, vanished. You vanished. "Come back and play with me," called the little rabbit. "Come on, come back. Where are you?" "Oh, do go, do come back. I know, I'm real." Now he was feeling sad. "Oh, please come back. I know, I'm real. Please come to me and play with me." But there was no answer. Only the little ants ran to and fro, and the bracken swayed gently where the two strangers had passed. The velveteen rabbit was all alone. Finally, everybody went off, and he was alone. Similarly, as he used to be in the staircase. "Oh dear," he thought, "why did they run away like that? Why could not they stop and talk to me?" For a long time he lay very still, watching the bracken and hoping that they would come back. But they never returned, and presently the sun sank lower, and the little white moths fluttered out, and the boy came and carried him home. He waited and waited and waited. He longed for them. He was apparently lamenting from the core of his heart that let those two rabbits come back. "Please do come back, please." But there was no one. Finally, one person came, that was the boy. He came and took him back. Weeks passed, and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby, as we people go on, but the boy loved him just as much. But his shabbiness and his oldness did not uh, decrease the love of the boy towards him. Rather, it grew longer and longer and longer. He loved him so hard that he loved all his whiskers off, and the pink lining to his ears turned grey, and his brown spots faded. He even began to lose his shape, and scarcely looked like a rabbit any more, except to the boy. To him, he was always beautiful. And that was all that the little rabbit cared about. He did not mind how he looked to other people, because the nursery magic had made him real, and when you are real, shabbiness doesn't matter. You know, my children, we are young. You are the blooming flowers now. A day will come, you will grow, you will do a very nice job, you will also have a nice family, and you will become old. But you are old, that doesn't mean you will not be a people, or you will not be a person to be adored. You will be adored lifelong by those who adore you now, by those who love you now. Because lovable things can never be disappeared. Love can never be disappeared. Affection can never be disappeared. Rather, it grows more and more and more as the days passed off. It is not like the fragrance of a rose that the days will go on and the fragrance will removed. It will be um, rather disappeared or dissolved. No, it is not an obsession that after a certain period of time we will lose the affection, love, adoration, whatever you say. It is like a very tight bonding that never ends. It ends with the ending of the life. Our parents, they grew older. But do our love and respect and caring towards them decreases? No. It's impossible because it's a lifelong bonding. We cannot avoid them. We cannot just let them go. You have become old. Now, please. No. Because the bonding, the love, the connection between we and our parents and guardians are the bonding which can never end. Similarly, shabbiness, discoloredness, fadedness doesn't fade the love and affection towards anything which you love from the bottom of your heart, from the core of your heart. Right? So, similarly, same thing was going on between the rabbit and the boy. And then one day, the boy was ill. The boy was sick. His face grew very flushed and he talked in his sleep, and his little body was so hot that it burned, and the rabbit when he held him close. Strange people came and went in the nursery, and the light burned all night, and through it all the little velveteen rabbit lay there, hidden from sight under the bedcloth, and he never stirred, for he was afraid that if they would find him, someone might take him away, and he knew that the boy needed him. He was sick, probably he was suffering with high fever, and they were all removing all his toys. And the velveteen rabbit was hiding under the bed cover. Why? Because he knew that he is the life of the boy. And if anyone finds him over there, then it may happen that they will take him off, and this can hurt the boy. So he was hiding himself under the বেড কভার কি চলো আমাকে এখান থেকে সরাবে না আমাকে সরালে ছেলেটা কষ্ট পাবে দ্য বয় উইল ফিল হার্ট দুঃখ হোগা উসকো It was a long, weary time, for the boy was too ill to play, and the little rabbit found it rather dull with nothing to do all the day long. But he snuggled down patiently and looked forward to the time when the boy should be well again, and they would go out in the garden amongst the flowers and butterflies and play splendid games in the raspberry thicket like they used to. And he was waiting for that day to come when the boy will be well, and again they'll go out to play. All sorts of delightful things he planned, and while the boy lay half asleep, he crept up close to the pillow and whispered him in his ear. And presently the fever returned, and the boy got better. He was able to sit up in the bed and look at picture books, while the little rabbit cuddled close in his sides. And one day they let him get up and dress. One day he came close to the boy and whispers in his ears, "Please get up soon, please be well soon." And the words worked magically, and the boy began to get well soon. He sat up, he had seen the picture books and all, and the day came and he was dressed up in different outfit. It was a bright sunny morning and the windows stood wide open. They had carried the boy out on the balcony, wrapped in a shawl because he was suffering with fever. He was suffering with fever, so he might catch fever once again. So he was wrapped in shawl. But they had carried the boy balcony wrapped in shawl, and the little rabbit lay tangled up among the bedcloth, thinking. The boy was going to the seaside tomorrow. Everything was arranged, and now it only remained to carry the doctor's orders. Now they have decided to take the boy out of the place for some day, and they were up to going to the doctor to take the permission. That is it possible for us to take him out, because he is suffering for a long, long time and he's sustaining in the home itself. So it is becoming very monotonous for him. So let's give a change to him and just take him out. The room was to be disinfected. So the doctor ordered that all the toys, whatever the boy has handled till now, when he was suffering with fever, has become infected because of that fever. So everything need to be disinfected. The room need to be disinfected. But how? All the place, all the toys must be burnt. জ্বালিয়ে দাও ছেলেটা যা যা খেলা ইউজ করতো, বিকজ খেলার মধ্যে জ্বরের ইনফেকশন চলে এসেছে। Clear? Hurrah, thought the rabbit. Tomorrow we shall go to seaside. Now he was thinking something else. Wow, I'll be out with the boy in the seaside. I'll be enjoying there a lot. For the boy had often talked of the seaside, and he wanted very much to see the big waves coming in and the tiny crabs and the sand castles. Just then Nana caught sight of him. How about this old bunny? He was thinking all the colorful dreams. Suddenly Nana came. Hey, here ki hobe? Bunny, that. Why, it's a mass of scarlet fever germs. Burn it at once. What? What nonsense. Get him a new one. He must not have that anymore. কি হচ্ছে এটা? জ্বালিয়ে দাও. Burn him at once. Because he was cuddling with him when he was suffering with fever. And so the little rabbit was put into a sack with the old picture books and a lot of rubbish. And carried out to the end of the garden behind the fall house. Fall house a place where storehouse type thing, That was a fine place to make a bonfire, only the gardener was too busy just then to attend it. He had the potatoes to dig and the green peas to gather, but next morning he promised to come quite early and burn the whole lot. That night the boy slept in a different bedroom and he had a new bunny to sleep with him. It was a splendid bunny, all white plush with real glass eyes, but the boy was too excited to care very much about it. For tomorrow he was going to seaside, and that in itself was such a wonderful thing that he could think of nothing else. That old shabby bunny was burnt, but the boy did not have any time to think about him because he was busy with his new toy, the new bunny, and he was also dreaming about the seaside where he was supposed to go next day. And while the boy was asleep dreaming of the seaside, the little rabbit lay among the old picture books in the corner behind the fowl house, and he felt very lonely. The sack had been left untied, and so by wriggling a bit, it was able to get his head through the opening and look out. He was shivering a little, for he had always been used to sleeping in the proper bed, and by this time his coat had worn so thin and threadbare from the hugging that it was no longer any protection to him. So, finally, what happened? Um, while the boy was asleep dreaming of the seaside, the little rabbit lay among the old picture. The little rabbit was lying among the old pictures where things were burned, and the sack, bosta, it was untied. The mouth was untied, and so he could just put his head up. He was shivering because ওর গায়ের গুলো তো সব জ্বলে গেছে. There was nothing like that. Near he could see the thicket of raspberry canes growing tall and close like a tropical jungle in whose shadow he had played with the boy on the bygone morning. He thought of those long sunlit hours and the garden, how happy they were, and the great sadness came over him. He was remembering his past days when the golden moments he spent with the boy, and he felt very sad. He seemed to see them all pass before, each before beautiful than the other, and the fairy huts in the flower bud, and the quiet evening in the wood when he lay in the bracken, and the little ants ran over his paws. The wonderful day when he first knew he was real. It was the wonderful day when he understood that now he is real. Of what was to be loved and lose one's beauty and become real if it all ended like this? And a tear, and a real tear, trickled down his little shabby velvet nose and fell into the ground. So now he could feel that he is now real. All his shabby things has been wound up, and he was real. And how could he understand that he was real? Tears come down from his eyes, and it fell on the ground. So finally, the rabbit was real. Let's end the class over here. I'll continue in the next class. How did he feel? Whether the rabbit went off again to meet the boy. What was his real life like? We'll discuss. And I think that will be our last class, and I'm going to finish the chapter in my next class. So be healthy, be fine, be happy. See you in the next class very soon. Bye-bye.